Hi, my name is Shea, aka Professor Shea, and welcome to the first episode of our podcast series. I wanted to talk a little bit about optimizing your LinkedIn profile and why that is so important. I've been a huge fan of LinkedIn since way back as early as 2013, 2014. In 2013, I was crowned Miss Tustin within the Miss America pageant organization. I was attending community college. I was taking a course in social media management. At the time, social media wasn't the thing where it was like what it is today. It's evolved so much. But back then, I identified that using social media was a really great opportunity for me to promote myself as the newly crowned Miss Tustin, as well as the local organizations, the nonprofits, and the city as well. I want to share one story about how it was able to land me my past position at a Fortune 500 company. During the pandemic, it was a crazy time. I was working on Catalina Island. I was taking the boat over from the island to the mainland, and that was when the entire economy shut down. Talk about perfect timing. It was crazy. I specifically quit my job to move back to the mainland to get another job and go back to school to get my MBA. Literally, boat ride over, economy shut down. Shut down completely. Nobody knew what was going on. Nobody could foresee what was going to happen in the future. I was in desperate need of work. Thankfully, I was living with my mom at the time. She had a job, she had a roof over her head. I went onto my LinkedIn profile and I optimized my entire profile from my headshot to my bio, my experience, my skills. And within a month or two, I got hit up by a recruiter. And if you remember the job market at that time, it was incredibly difficult to get a job because everybody was getting laid off. And miraculously, a recruiter found me on LinkedIn looking at my job experience, and he's like, "Hey, I think you'd be a really great fit for this role." I think this was in like March or April or something. So pretty early on in the pandemic. I had a meeting with him. He's like, "Let's move you through this process." So I interviewed for this role, and it was a great role with a great company. I went through maybe 2 to 3 rounds of interviews. But at the end of the day, they chose not to go with me because they decided to go with another woman who had far more experience. 6 months later, I'm still unemployed. The pandemic is still going on. We were all wondering what is going on in the world. That same recruiter came back to me. "Hey, are you still looking for a job?" I'm like, "Yeah, I am." We re-interviewed again. I got the job 6 months later because of course that candidate was way overqualified for that role. I was in that role for about a year and I saw another opportunity within the company that I felt like was a much better fit for me and my skill set and my long-term career goals. I ended up applying for that role. I got the job and I was there for about 2.5 years. I even did this for my mom, which is a great use case as well. She was working during the pandemic, but they got bought out by another company. And unfortunately, because they got purchased, there were layoffs. When you get acquired, sometimes you have to cut budgets, and unfortunately, her department was on the chopping block. Because I had optimized her profile for her, within a couple weeks, another recruiter reached out to her and was like, "I think that you would be a really great fit for this very niche, very specific role." They were having a really difficult time finding the right candidate, but because my mom had optimized her profile, this recruiter found her, reached out to her, and ultimately it was the perfect fit. I've just seen this work many, many a times. Even for one of my students, I have this profile optimization assignment in my MBA digital marketing class. The very first week, I have students actually optimize their LinkedIn profiles, and week over week, they publish content as a thought leader. At first, it's very intimidating. I totally get it. They're like, "I'm not on LinkedIn. I don't know what to do." And I'm like, "I got you. Don't worry." I give personalized feedback. I give instructions on things that they can improve on or work on. And by the end of the course, they've optimized their profile. They've become a LinkedIn thought leader. I even had one student say, "Thank you so much. I have been looking for a job for a really long time, and a recruiter actually reached out to me regarding a role. Thank you so much for giving me that hope." That really validates what I do as a professor, just being able to help students achieve their goals and find hope and propel them in whatever career or field that they aspire to is just incredible. Optimizing your profile isn't just for finding a job, though. It's also used to become a thought leader in your field. If you're a salesperson, do you know that roughly 49% of individuals research sales professionals on LinkedIn before reaching out to them? It's so important to have that profile optimized, to tell your story, have a very concise profile picture that's professional and clean and really articulates who you are as a person, as well as crafting that story throughout your profile. What is your headline? Do you want it to say your job title at name of company, or do you want to be a little bit more descriptive, like, I help salespeople increase their bottom line or something? There's a couple different approaches when it comes to the headline. The bio is probably the most difficult part of the LinkedIn profile. Writing about yourself is super hard. How do you identify what your goals and objectives are, and what are you going to craft and write about yourself to get that across? How are you going to detail all of your previous work experience? Are you going to list everything? Are you going to list a couple things? What descriptive keywords or terms are you going to integrate throughout the entirety of your profile? So when people type and search specific keywords, are you going to pop up? There's certain strategies that we can implement when optimizing our LinkedIn profile, depending on who we are, what are our unique backgrounds, our experiences, and what our long-term goals and objectives are. That's the whole point of my LinkedIn 101 course. It's ultimately just a foundational course on how to best optimize your LinkedIn profile, because you can't become a thought leader, you can't convert your relationships to sales if you don't have an optimized profile. That's step one. And that's what I teach here on professorshea.com. I use my own data, my own analytics. I share the stories of success with you because I also want you to be successful with your future career endeavors as well. I would love to have more of these conversations with you. Please follow us online. We're on social media channels, we're on podcast channels, and of course, please go to professorshea.com. Follow me on LinkedIn to get more up-to-date news and information on what's going on. Thank you so much and have a lovely day. Bye.